So hi, session 6, Java 2, update the future, new features in file handling. Describe the console class, explain the Flutter input system class, string class, explain the inflator output string class, describe the java.nio package, describe the file system. So um, NIO in Java stands for New Input Output Operation. The other session we've treated is about input output. So this is a new input output. This is a collection of Java API that offers intensive I/O operations. So the java.nio file package provides comprehensive support for input and output operations. And there are many classes presenting. The NIO package mainly defines buffers, which are containers for data, and the API is easy to use. So the console class. So the console class provides various methods to access character-based console devices. These devices should be associated with current virtual machine, and then there are no public constructors for the console class. To obtain an instance of the console class, you need to invoke the system.console method. So there are no public constructors, so the system console will provide methods of access character based on console devices, like it's not a GUI, but it's a console device. And then at present, the method console class can be invoked only from the command line and not from the IDE, such as Eclipse, NetBeans, and so on. So console class, you know what console is. You know this NetBeans, something like this NetBeans, like this beta console, right? It doesn't have console. So console is something like, let me show you how console looks like. Windows R, CMD. So this is a console. This is how console looks like. It's like sometimes if you use Notepad back in the days when they used Notepad to program in Java, you have to integrate it with this console so that by the time you run your project, it will just open the console like this. So it's a console class. So Java provide new console class for it. So this is how to check it. Console consistent.console. If console is empty, then it should print no console device is present. Then if it's not empty, then it should produce enter your name, then password, enter your secret password, then display print IO, get message. Since you print your image and then password, name and then password. So we have classes in java.util.zip. We have checked input stream maintains checksum of data that is being read, output being written. Read is input, right? Output is read, right? Deflator performs data compression. So deflator is just perform data compression. So deflator input stream reads, stores data, and then comprises it to in the deflate compression format. Read source data compression in deflate compression format, and then write. Inflator is for decompression. Deflator is what? Data compression. While inflator is what? Data decompression. Do you get it? Inflator input stream reads compressed data, while inflator output stream reads decompresses it. It decompresses it. Do you get it? Deflator performs data compression, like I zip in din data a zama da shi in file ɗinsa 200 ne in aka yi compression ɗinsa ya zama mai 50. That's deflator. Inflator kuma ai decompression ɗinsa from wannan 50 ya koma 100. So zip input stream, zip output stream. So public deflator class compresses data present in this stream. So this is public deflator. This is how it looks like. So we have deflator byte, buffer deflator, stream input, self input output deflator. So let's try this code. Let's try it. That means I do some control. So this one asking me. So let's see. All right. So this is what deflator, and what do we say deflator is? Deflator is what to decompress. Ngane? I decompress and then like if you decompress, it's sorry, deflator is what compress, right? It's used for compressing, to compress data. So yeah, this is our deflator compression. You have to import java.zip.deflator, then string input. The deflator class compresses the data, then input.getByte UTF-8. So here it will compress it to, let's see, to 46. So compresses the bytes, you have to use an array for it, which is byte output new byte 100, then deflator the set input object. And so let's see, for example, we change this one to oh sorry, so let's so you see it's about counting the number of one rubutu, right? So if the muka rage shi kunga ya bamu 34. So when we reduce it again, it will still reduce the value of compression length. You see, about 26. So that's how it's that's how it works. So here the byte array this is the compression of the file you use. The output should be in a new byte, which is an array, and then the value is 100. Like you can write that's the local string from 1 to 100, from 0 to 100. Then deflator, you create a new deflator, set input to what input object, which is one input object, right? To what to this on-file controller. Then deflate after finish to finish the compression length, and deflate the output and system.out.print, compress data length. So that's it. Then inflator class you come na decompress. One time compression no come decompression. So try this one on your own. See the same thing with the other one. Then we have data and deflator input string. Class read the source data from an output, the string object, and then blah blah blah. And the flatter input class now the read, write, boolean, markup, int variable, and then stuff like that. So we have NIO is platform dependent. Its ability to enhance application performance depends on the following: operating system, what type of JVM machine is using, then mass storage characteristics, data, host virtualization, context, and then blah blah. So I think that's all we have. Class set associated with decoders, and then translate the data between bytes, and then so here and in general NIO it's what new input output platform. It's a platform that is dependent. It has it works with it enhances the application within the following depends on the OS, then the VM, the kind of memory it has on either hard disk can find the what type of data is saved, what type of virtualization context it's using. So I'm tired. Then file systems. The file system stores and organizes files on media, typically hard drives. Typically files are stored in a hierarchical structure where there is not root. So you know what file system is, right? Yeah. Like it's a system where files being stored and so much. Then path files. The symbolic link is a reference to another file and it's transparent application and users reference to another file. Like a symbolic link, the one link in reference in the link operations and symbolic links are automatically redirected to the target. Here is the target of the file, and these are the structure. Then path interface. Wait, instead of sending it to YouTube, why not? Go into one WhatsApp group. Let me see which one you consume more data. That this corona vaccine should go down. So a path can represent the following: a root sequence, and then one or more name, path interface. Okay, system. I have to use system to convert it to system. We can get so Stacking file systems and directories. Static methods in Java.nio files class perform primary functions for the path object, copying file or directory. See, moving a file or directory, checking a file or directory, deleting a file, listing a file. So all these ones, they are the new features that NIO, new input output created provided. Accessing file randomly, then to copy file. Copying a file directory, use copy path copy option method can be used. So here it is, files.copy source inda kake gaba target inda za ka kai replace existing inda kake so ka je ka yi pasting ɗinsa. So moving a file shi ma move path copy session shi ma ga nashi source target replace existing to move it right. Then checking directory on checking directory to do so the file system should be accessed using the files. This method path class operate the file systems. And then the file is verified to not exist, the file is verified to exist. The existence of the file cannot be verified. Delete file or path method can be used to delete a file, and then deletion will fail if the directory is not empty. So, and this is a file code for delete. So, let's try and run this code and see. Copying. What am I doing? Okay. So I'll go back. What is this now? What about diagram? Oh, so what service watches registered object for changes and events? Multiple concurrent consumers can use a watch service. A file manager can use a watch service to check a directory. So I can watch service I can say whether it's to what to register object for changes. It's what is registered object. Kawai ai daga tana duba object. Ina object ɗin da muke the ones that we've been creating. So its work is to watch the registered object and see how it changes, how it works, and then blah blah blah. So this method returns a watch key to represent it, and then changes event of an object occurs a key and single queued. So the key is single by the queued folder. So it has a register method. It's invoked to register. It's okay. The register method invoked is used to register a watchable object with a watch service. Then premature interface is used to locate a file. One would search directory. Kawai shi kuma aikinsa is to use um, to locate search directory, or is used for searching to patch match to path match. And then this is the syntax pattern, and this is how it search for it. So DOS file matsalar kwatsin na kokarin yin use ma bai shi ke so that's the JAVA2 introduce console class to enhance. We'll go through the problem now. I will send this to the material so that I can understand it more. Thank you. Bye bye.